The movie opens with Levon Cade waking up in his car before heading to work. He arrives at Garcia's construction site. One of the co-workers offers him some food. He then briefs the workers about the day's tasks before heading to the office to meet the Garcias. Inside, Jenny Garcia, the daughter of Joe Garcia, hands him a few billing documents. She then asks her father for a large sum of money to complete a semester, hoping to celebrate the occasion. Though hesitant at first, Joe ultimately agrees and gives her the money. Meanwhile, Levon notices a group of mafia members entering the construction site and threatening one of the workers. Without hesitation, he steps in, swiftly taking them down and forcing them to leave. Jenny, witnessing the incident, approaches Levon and asks if he has a military background. Levon dismisses the question and warns her not to mention it to anyone. Intrigued, Jenny asks him to teach her how to fight, revealing that her grandfather once taught her how to break a finger. She then offers him some food before leaving. Later, Levon visits his daughter, Mary, at her grandparents' house. As soon as he arrives, Mary spots him and eagerly rushes into his car. Levon takes a moment to speak with his father-in-law, who has custody of Mary. Turns out that Levon lost custody after his wife's tragic suicide, and since he now lives in his truck, the court deemed it unsuitable for raising a child. As a result, he is only allowed 2 hours of visitation per week. Father and daughter then go out for dinner, where Levon gives Mary a special gift, a picture of her and her late mother. Seeing the photo, Mary expresses her anger and sadness over her mother leaving them, struggling to come to terms with the loss. Later, Levon visits his lawyer regarding the custody case for his daughter. The lawyer informs him that the situation is worsening and asks why his father-in-law harbors such resentment toward him. Levon explains that his father-in-law believes he is responsible for his wife's death. In reality, she had been battling depression while he was serving in the military. Despite the challenges, Levon is determined to fight for his daughter and hands over the money he has saved to continue the legal battle. He even rents a place for her daughter's happiness. That night, Jenny and her friends gather at a clubhouse, partying and enjoying themselves. One of the bartenders notices her and informs about her to a mafia member named Viper. A short while later, one of her friends begins to feel sick and rushes to the bathroom. Left alone, Jenny suddenly finds herself ambushed by a group of kidnappers who swiftly take her away. The next day at work, Levon notices cops coming out of Joe's office. Joe and his wife approach Levon in a panic, informing him that Jenny is missing. They plead for his help, but he refuses, insisting that he has left his past behind. Joe even offers him $50,000, but Levon remains resolute in his decision and refuses to take the job, but takes $50,000 and heads to his friend's house. That evening, Levon visits Gunny, a former comrade from his time in the military. He tells Gunny about Jenny's disappearance and tells him that he is going to take this job. It is revealed that Levon once saved Gunny from an accident, but Gunny lost his eyesight in the process. Gunny then explains how important this is to the family. Determined to find Jenny, Levon visits Joe and assures him that he will bring his daughter back. That evening, he begins gathering information about the bar where she was last seen. While searching a nearby alley, he discovers a piece of Jenny's necklace, confirming that she had been taken from there. Following a lead, Levon tracks down one of the bar staff members and confronts him at his home. He questions the bartender about Jenny's disappearance, but the man insists he knows nothing. Sensing the lie, Levon applies pressure, forcing him to reveal names. Just as the bartender is about to talk, several of his associates arrive. Realizing the imminent threat, Levon swiftly eliminates everyone in the room. After searching the bodies, he confirms they are connected to the mafia. Before leaving, he takes some cash, intending to use it to bribe other gang members for information. The next day, a group of gang members and Wolo arrive at the house and immediately notice the bloodbath from the night before. Recognizing that someone is targeting them, they hurriedly clean up the scene and leave, unaware that Levon is following them. Tracking them back to a safe house, Levon carefully scouts the area before making his move. He infiltrates the building and quickly subdues a man named Wolo, tying him up. When Wolo regains consciousness, he warns Levon that he's making a dangerous mistake. Unfazed, Levon tosses the money he had taken earlier and demands information about Jenny's whereabouts. When Wolo refuses to talk, Levon throws him into water strapped to a chair, killing him instantly. Through his investigation, Levon discovers that a man named Dimi, Wolo's son, is behind the kidnapping. Wasting no time, he sets out to find him. A short while later, Yuri, another high-ranking figure within the gang, arrives at the safe house. Seeing Wolo dead, realizing Dimi is not like Wolo, and he orders his men to hunt down whoever is responsible. Levon contacts a friend in the police, asking for information about a man named Dimi. His friend warns him that Dimi is a highly dangerous figure and a leader within the mafia. He then provides Levon with the address of a bar known for its ties to organized crime. That night, Levon visits the bar. One of the security members quickly notices him and realizes he has a lot of money, and escorts him to a man named Dutch. Suspecting Levon to be an undercover cop, the patrons turn hostile, attacking him on sight. Levon swiftly takes them down, neutralizing everyone in his path. Just as he is about to kill one of them, Dutch intervenes and realizes that he was a military guy and offers to negotiate. Playing along, Levon requests drugs, and Dutch agrees to arrange a deal. The next day, Dutch delivers the promised goods and sets up a meeting between Levon and the mafia's main dealer. Later, Levon meets Dimi. To ensure Levon isn't an imposter, Dimi tests him before proceeding with the deal. Once convinced, he hands over the drugs. Levon, uninterested in the transaction, immediately disposes of them. While at the bar, he recognizes a gang member named Viper, one of the men present when Jenny was kidnapped. This discovery prompts Levon to leave and begin spying on the gang's activities. However, one of the security guards notices Levon watching them and discreetly calls for backup. Sensing the impending danger, Levon tries to escape on a motorcycle, but after an intense chase, he is ultimately captured by Yuri's men. While they transport him in a van, Levon seizes an opportunity, killing both of his captors, taking control of the vehicle, and pushes into the water to destroy any evidence before escaping. Meanwhile, Yuri is enraged upon discovering the bodies of his men. Realizing that someone is actively targeting them, he gathers the entire mafia to confront Dimi. At the same time, Dimi, recognizing that something has gone wrong with the deal, questions one of his gang members. Before he can act, Yuri arrives and reveals that Levon is responsible for his father's death, and that Dimi is likely his next target. The next day, while picking up his daughter from school, Levon senses something is wrong and learns that his father-in-law is in danger. Without hesitation, he rushes to check on him. When he arrives, he finds the house engulfed in flames. Without wasting a moment, Levon charges into the burning building and rescues his father-in-law. Realizing that his daughter could also be a target, he takes her to Gunny's place for safety. Leaving her in Gunny's care, he arms himself and prepares for the battle ahead. Meanwhile, Jenny is being transported to a safe house under the watch of Viper and Artemis. Seizing an opportunity, she escapes from their grasp and runs into the streets. Spotting a police car, she desperately flags it down for help, only to realize too late that the officer is working for the gang. The corrupt cop takes her straight back to Viper and Artemis. Later, Viper receives a call from a wealthy client requesting Jenny for the night. Without hesitation, they accept the offer. At Dimi's hideout, Levon confronts him and demands information. Negotiating his life in exchange for answers, Dimi reveals the location where Jenny is being held and explains Viper's role. He is the one responsible for gathering information on the girls they abduct. With the address in hand, Levon eliminates Dimi and sets off for his next target. Meanwhile, Dutch discovers that Levon is the one infiltrating their operations and warns the gang to be on high alert. Levon arrives at the safe house and wastes no time, systematically taking down everyone in his path, including Dutch. During the chaos, Jenny fights back and manages to kill Artemis. Moments later, Levon finds her and frees her. As they attempt to leave, two remaining gang members ambush them, opening fire. Acting fast, Levon pulls the pin on a grenade and takes them out in one swift move. With the threat eliminated, Levon and Jenny finally escape to safety. Levon reunites Jenny with her parents, who thank him for saving their daughter. In the final scene, Levon, Mary, and Gunny's family share a peaceful lunch together, finally finding a moment of happiness after the storm.